I think this is what I got at. In the midst of adversity, you keep doing the right thing. Because they could have given up and gotten frustrated, but they didn't. And then we were talking about in our thing, Wednesday with the guys, we were talking about Romans 8:34 and how that verse kind of develops. And it talked about tribulation, distress, or negative persons. I said, for thy sake we're persecuted all days long, come the sheep of slaughter. And it says, nay, we're more than conquerors through him that loved us. What said, neither height nor death, nor angels nor principalities should separate from the love of God. So no matter what you go through, how people may be cheating you, you do the right thing. And you don't stop, because they could have gave up. Oh, we can't win this game because they're going to penalties on us, but they kept on going. And somebody encouraged them. In the midst of what you're going through, you still do the right thing.
Yeah, what seemed to be happening, just to try and summarize what I saw too, what seemed to be happening was that there was some coordinated cheating effort going on. There's not enough in the clip to really know what was going on. And I forgot how good this movie is. I got to go back and watch it now, and it's been a long time, so I don't remember the details of it. But clearly, you saw also the assistant coach look at his daughter and look at other people in the stands. And also, it almost seemed like in that very quick moment, he was examining his own heart too and making a decision. I said, well, but so clearly there was something going on. He called it out, and then used that to then motivate his players as well. And you saw a lot of motivation in support and so that's what I saw in terms of summarizing it. So.
There's a lot of dimensions to that. And the one I'm thinking of that plays off of what's already been said is when you ask people to do the right thing, taking the advantage of that opportunity to ask people to do the right thing, even if they're resisting, you're helping yourself and you're helping them as well, because you can't.
Along with that, what you were talking about is that the assistant coach, the defensive coordinator, was eligible for the, not just to coach the head coaching job, to take over the head coaching job, but also for the Hall of Fame for that state as one of the Hall of Fame coaches. So if they would have lost that game, then he would have got the head coaching position that following week and been nominated into the Hall of Fame. And as the game went on, he had a crisis of belief and sitting there thinking, is it worth it if I'm going to lose the image of what my daughter would think of me? And what is the Hall of Fame worth it if I'm going to lose my integrity? And he made that tough decision to play it straight up. But as a consequence, you also keep in mind, we made the adjustment, but not everybody agreed to the adjustment. Not everybody's going to be able to roll with you when you make that tough call. And just like I think Petey wound up stepping out of giving up his starting position. So when you sit there and you think about that, great call, Elder, because I'm trying to choose my words. Not everybody's going to be down for what we're trying to do as far as the faith is concerned, and we're going to lose people. Some people you just know you would think they're going to be there through tough and difficult times, and then ultimately they don't. What's going to be the mindset when people that you thought you had confidence in are no longer around? How should we carry ourselves? Keep fighting. Regroup, keep fighting. Next man up, next woman up.
Something that I really got from that clip too is the importance of good leadership. Because seeing how that coach stepped up too, like there's probably 100 ways he could have dealt with that as he was dealing with that crisis of conscience. Like his players recognize that like what's going on isn't fair. The crowd recognizes it. He could console them and say like, there's nothing we can do about it, or we just have to deal with it. But he came in very precisely. He talked to the ref, and then he went straight to his players and just said, we're going to keep on going, spoke it clearly and just right to them. And when someone, like you just said before, wasn't with that plan, it didn't become like a big issue. He said, next man up. And, trying to think of like the way the Bible lays out leadership as well. Not to take the imagery too far, but these are like the students, the athletes that were entrusted to him, this is essentially like his flock, and seeing how he puts his own achievements, his life's work on the line for them. Not to take it to the extreme of he's laying down his life for his flock, but he's putting his life's accomplishments, he's putting his reputation on the line for students without a lot of thought because of how much that like those athletes mean to him. It's cool to see that. Yeah.
And then, what do you think? And the thing is, how did that impact their lives? Because at the end of the movie, when that one guy dies and they go to his funeral, they're all friends there. The movie starts out with black and white people coming together for the first time in that school, and they hated each other. Yet the two linebackers become best friends. So what he said to those guys impacted their lives for the rest of their lives too. So by standing up for what was the truth, he pointed at those guys. It's not about you, it's about the people that you are around for one thing that impacts your life. Okay, the selfish thing to do was to worry about how it's going to benefit me. But like Greg was saying, what about your integrity? Can you live with that for the rest of your life? And that was the point he came to in his life, one thing too. He looked at his daughter in the audience stands yelling about being cheated to one thing too. And he experienced a crisis of conscience, and he stood up for the truth. And that impacted everybody on his team.
I think it's also interesting that his daughter's the only one shouting in the stands. That when it pans around, it hangs on. He like looks at her, and the camera tilts a little bit to the left, and there's just like two guys who are just like, and that's it. And so, yeah, like there's this power in her voice and her passion, and like it's interesting. I don't know if this was. He picked a lot of these clips, so I don't know if that was intentional, like this idea of like adult influence and stuff like that. But the last two have both been about how is that relationship symbiotic, like. How in this instance, in the first one we saw Miles being encouraged by his dad, and in this one we have the dad being encouraged by his daughter. Like it's not just all pour in, all pour out. Like there's meant to be kind of like a shared experience there. So